I'm Laurel House, and I'm so excited to be one of the new FabFitFun dating experts and to be part of the Summer of Love series. So, for this series, I'm going to be talking about screwing the rules. You know, kind of going against the expected when it comes to dating. Because, really, rules are safe, okay? They're loose guidelines to keep you from getting hurt, which makes sense. The problem is that rules also restrict you from having that deep guttural love. Not always, but oftentimes. The reason is that love is not dictated by rules. It's not dictated by lists. It's not even dictated by the brain. It's dictated by the heart. So if you want to have that deep guttural love that we all so badly want, you have to kind of screw the rules and go with your gut or your heart. The first love feeling, you know, back in the day when you really were, elementary, junior high, high school, whenever you had that first love, what was that? Well, it wasn't marred by crazy daily activities and stresses or baggage-based insecurities and fears. It was trusting. It was just real and raw and vulnerable. You really got to know each other. It wasn't like, oh, I have to pay my bills and, well, my ex was a jerk to me and because of that, what if you're a jerk to me? And we're protecting ourselves. It's tainted these days. So, okay, picture this. Picture that your heart is a well, okay? Like a well of water. And the first love feeling, that well is just this, you know, endless, deep well where you can jump in and you and your guy, I know this sounds weird, okay? You and your guy jump into the well and you swim around and you're free and you can go all the way to the bottom and you fully enjoy this well. No fears. Then you get hurt. So what do? Well, you put a barrier at the bottom of the well so that you can't go all the way in. Like there's netting or fencing so that you can't go totally deep into that well, but you can still swim around and have fun, but there's a limit there. And then you get hurt again. So then you build a dam on the side so that you can't freely move around and you only have this small area, and then you get hurt again. And so you build a fortress around your well, and only sometimes do you allow people to actually go in because that fortress makes you feel safe. So then you have this very controlled area that only some people are allowed into, and even when they're allowed in, they're only allowed into restricted areas. Well, that's what we're doing to our hearts. We're not allowing other people or us either to just go and be free and have that deep, deep love. So, how do we get over that? Well, screw the rules. Here's the problem with that, is that you are also opening yourself up. You know, when you're opening up your heart, you're also opening up the possibility to be hurt. Because you're saying, you know, come on in, let's swim around, and I'm totally open, and this is me, and I'm going to be completely honest and vulnerable with you. Well, yeah, you could get hurt, but you know what? I think that the opposite, getting that love, is worth it. Even if you are hurt a couple of times, the possibility of experiencing that first love feeling for the rest of your life is worth the risk. So, a couple of rules to screw the list. Screw tall, dark, and handsome. Screw the games. Screw, now this might sound weird, screw talking about your ex on the first date. Screw the fear of sex tapes even. But first we're going to talk about screwing tall, dark, and handsome. And I don't actually mean screwing tall, dark, and handsome. I mean screw the idea of tall, dark, and handsome. Or whatever is hot to you. Screw the idea of that hot guy. So if it's, you know, stocky and tan and blonde, or striking redhead who's pale and chiseled, screw all of that. Don't even look at the face. Like, excuse me, scooch over because I need to see what's actually behind you, who you actually are. You're not dating a face, right? You're dating a guy. And looks fade. So why are we so stuck on this face? It's completely blinding us because we can't see anything else. We can't see the most important thing, which is their core, right? I mean, that's what you want. You want a guy. Yeah, I know, okay? You want to look at you want to have a hot guy there and you want your arm candy and I get it. But really, if you find a guy who has that core that is amazing or whatever other things are sexy to you that aren't the face, you won't even realize that he might not be physically attractive because you will think that he is the sexiest dude just because of everything else that he actually is. So ask yourself these questions. Can you sit alone in a dark room with him for hours? Dark room, okay? Can't see his face. But just talk. Just be together. Does he inspire you to be a better person? And I don't mean better in terms of Botoxed and boob jobbed. I don't mean prettier. I mean better. Does he make you want to be better? Do you look up to him? Do you think that he is an incredible human being? Are you inspired by him? How does he make you feel? I mean, that's one of the most important things, right? When you're in a relationship, do you wake up feeling bummed? Do you go to sleep sad? Do you feel not great about yourself? Do you feel insecure? How do you want to feel? How does he make you feel in the relationship? Right? Isn't that what you want? Don't you want to wake up smiling? Don't you want to go to bed thinking, oh, I hope that I'm able to be with this guy for the rest of my life? Instead of that thought of, is this it? And the grass is always, greener on the other side idea. You don't want to feel that way. You want to feel like you scored because this guy is so amazing. And sometimes it doesn't matter if everyone else doesn't see it. They might think, well, his face is not gorgeous, but he makes me feel so good. You have no idea. And you know what? There's a side of him that only I get, that the rest of the world doesn't get. Now that's special. And I'm not saying go date an ugly dude. I'm saying rearrange your priorities, So the actual guy is the priority. The face is secondary. If he's hot, fantastic. That's a bonus. But it shouldn't be the focus. Really, how deep do you want your love to be? Do you want to have that deep love? Because skin deep is pretty shallow, gotta say. So if the face is your focus, you might really overlook the things that are even more important. You might be blinded by that beautiful face, and you might allow him to get away with things because he's just that hot. So you're going to say, that's okay if he does that, or that's okay if he doesn't treat me that well, or whatever it is, the little, indiscretions. It's okay. You don't even see it. You don't think about it because you're so blinded by his face. So I suggest that you become an equal opportunity dater in the looks department, if you can. Now that might be a little extreme, but if you can, try and put the looks aside and instead think of what really is sexy to you. Like, oh, something that's just so sexy that makes you feel so good. A couple of them are that secret smile that I said, so that secret side. That, maybe in the business world he's this person, but at home he's this just total mush. And you would never know because he's this hardcore guy at work. But you see this side that's vulnerable and wonderful and raw and delicate. And maybe that's what's sexy to you. His mind. Someone who has this mind that's just always thinking and going and has amazing stories and has incredible life experience and can teach you something and you want to learn from him. That to me is so unbelievably sexy. A feeling of home. So it doesn't mean a house, but the feeling that you're always at home when you're with him. You're always comforted. You're comfortable. You're safe. You know everything's going to be okay. That, to me, is unbelievably sexy. So start to rethink about how you look at love. If you're not finding the love of your life, maybe it's because you're looking at the wrong things. Maybe it's because you're following the rules. And you know what? It's time to screw them and follow your heart and look deeper and look at the core. And that's when you will have your deep guttural love that you so deserve.